All right, thanks for being here. And, we needed to get this one after the last 2 weeks. We just needed to come out and we just needed to play. And I thought our first half we played really well. We executed real well on offense. I thought defensively we flew around, we got aligned, we got some turnovers, and really had the game, more or less in control at halftime. Then the second half we wanted to play people. So it's good to have a game like this. You can get Kendall out there and get the backup offensive lineman and get Christian Beal carries and get our backup defense out there. And we didn't play as well in the second half as we need to. I think sometimes when the score gets like that, it's human nature. And we had a lot of our twos in there that they need to learn from it and grow from it. So we needed this one. It's good to get win number 3. But we're very aware that as we head down the stretch here and 7 ACC games in front of us, that we just got to keep getting better. And I do think we got better from a week ago to today, but we still got to keep making progress to win games in the ACC. So that'll be our focus this week.
I'm sure this might change once you have a chance to look at the film, but just offhand now, what was better about the defense from the last 2 weeks and the last little while?
Well, again, Connor, you're not going to go from where we were. Again, I'll be the first to admit, Rice isn't Notre Dame. So regardless, there should have been improvement because we played a top 10 team a year ago, and we played a young team with a new coaching staff that's building right now. But I just like the way that when we gave up plays, it was because it was a physical mistake, not a mental mistake. If we missed a tackle, we missed a tackle. If we didn't cover something, we didn't cover something. It wasn't because we weren't in the right coverage or we weren't in the right alignment. There were a lot less of those mistakes, and Rice is a challenge to line up to. With all their tight ends and wings and motions, again, they don't present the physical challenge that Notre Dame does, but mentally, they're more challenging to line up to than Notre Dame was. They're a nightmare with all the different sets and the imbalanced and the motions, and we got lined up, and that was the goal this week, is if we can just get lined up, I thought we could have success. And so we made progress, and now next week with Clemson coming to town, we've got to continue that progress and then play better physically.
Defense played really well in the first half. Third quarter was
No, I just said it. We missed some tackles. Their plays where we were in a coverage and a guy missed a tackle or a guy flew over the top that should have been underneath a block. And no, it wasn't. That's what I just said, that I was encouraged because we didn't have those mental mistakes. It was more the physical kind that we missed a tackle. We didn't maybe take on a block the way we should have. And that's part of where we got to get better, is we got to get better fundamentally.
Coach, to start off with, I think with like 3 consecutive 3-and-outs, and they kind of threw, like you said, some strange packages at you even in that first drive. Did you sense that your defense got a little bit of momentum and kind of like, hey, we can do this?
Yeah, to me it looked like they were having fun. They were playing with emotion. They were flying around. The blitzes looked faster. And there was an energy level out there, and I think they got some confidence from those first few drives. That's a unit that, for the 8 quarters before that, had it handed to them pretty good. They're the BC game and the Notre Dame game. There wasn't a lot of success in those games, and I thought it was really important that we start fast today, and kids are smiling, and it's a game, and when they have fun playing it, they're going to play better and enjoy it more. And I just thought that we played well from the get-go. At halftime, I think they had a little over 100 yards, and they just looked like they were having fun, and they got some confidence. And we started challenging routes. And again, we're far from perfect. We had we gave up too many yards in the running game. In the second half, we didn't play well. We played 30 minutes of good defense, and then the second half. But a lot of those things are physical mistakes, and a lot of those things at the end were younger guys. And I even thought the last few series, when those guys settled in, they played a little better.
You said Sam last week probably played his worst game. Did you see the improvement that you
Absolutely, he played better today. Now again, when you play Notre Dame and Clemson, you're going to have to play at a high level, maybe just not to play even as good. But the mental mistakes that he made a week ago of keeping the ball when he should have handed it, or throwing it when he should have ran it, or, to me, he hung in the pocket. Like a week ago at times, he got spooked. That there were times he bailed the pocket when there was no rush and guys were open. And today, like that touchdown to Greg on that crossing route, that was one that it was a little bit of a late developing play, and he kept his eyes down the field and he stayed in the pocket and he didn't look to bail, and that was an encouraging play. And some of the third down throws he made, he stepped into the pocket, and a week ago, when he got hit a few times, he stopped doing that. And that's normal for young quarterbacks. I mean, John Wolford went through that. John Wolford, after a game that he got hit, we always worried about what was the effect going to be on the next game. Was he going to get happy feet and not set his feet? And to me, it's very normal. It's human nature. But what was encouraging about Sam today is I thought he set his feet. He wasn't perfect, but his eyes for the most part were in the right place, and he didn't turn it over.
Defensively, did you make any changes, both in the way you approach things and in personnel changes?
We mixed more guys in there. We made Jaquez Williams a buck, and he played well. We made Jake, we lost Nate Mays, so we had to move Jake back over, and Ryan Smenda was not available today. So Jake Simpson had to play Mike. But we just made a commitment to roll guys in there. Luke Masterson and Cam Glenn kind of split the game. We rolled Jasir, Amari, and Asang all in at corner. We just tried to play more guys and keep them fresh, and the goal was to prevent the mental fatigue. That if guys play less plays, they can focus more when they're in there, because a lot of those mental breakdowns for us happened BC in the third and fourth quarter, or even Notre Dame late in the game, that I thought when they got physically tired, they got mentally tired. And in a lot of those positions we're young. We're down, I think, 6 guys for the year on defense, and 5 of those guys are 3 of them are linebackers and 2 are in the secondary. And we're just going to have to make a commitment to play some younger guys and live through their mistakes and let them play.
Okay, but Sam was only credited with 2 rushing attempts. Is that a function of him just making maybe better decisions today, also following up by most of the second half, or is it just an effort to maybe have him run the ball a little less?
No, it was a little bit the way we got defended. In our system, at times, depending on what a defense does, it can trigger a quarterback run. So we weren't being defended in that way. He didn't play as much, but his decision-making was much better. A lot of the runs he had last week, he shouldn't have been running the football. There was edge blitzes that if he just should have handed the ball off and let Matt Colburn or Cade Carney go, and for unknown reasons, he decided to keep it. And that's where I said a lot of the hits that he took last week were him, his decision-making. And this week, regardless of who we played, the decision-making was better. And so now we've got to get him to make those decisions consistently as we get into ACC play. So we're done with the non-conference schedule. We'd have loved to be 4-0, but we finished 3-1 non-conference. And now that we know every single week in this conference is going to be an absolute fight. And, we're going to have to be able to put 60 minutes together better than even we did today.
Question from a bunch of these last year, but what can Greg Dortch do when he has a day like that where he's able to beat some double coverages?
Greg's a really good football player that we make every effort we can to get him the football. And, today was a day that we were able to do that. And, what people maybe don't realize is there's times that when people double Greg, that sometimes that allows us to run the ball for 240 yards because you're taking that linebacker or that safety out of the run game, and he's a reason we're able to run the ball better. When we throw those screens to him and people say, hey, we better cover him, we better get out there, he helps us run the ball. So a lot of our offense is driven through the slot position, which Greg plays, and he had a heck of a game today. But we've got to get these type of performances from him against the Clemsons and the Florida States and the Louisvilles of the world. And he did it a year ago at times. He's had 3 really good games in the non-conference schedule, and I think that chemistry between him and Sam, just every week it needs to get better and better and better. So when you have a freshman quarterback playing with receivers for the first time, it's a process. And it's my whole thing last week, is we just got to get better. We didn't play well. We need to worry about Wake Forest. And really, whether you play Rice or Clemson, it's no different. It's got to be the same focus this week, that we get better. That's the only chance we have to beat a team the caliber we're playing next week.
Coach, this was by far not anywhere close to one of Matt Colburn's best games, but today he should have passed, I think I'll confirm this with Steve, surpassed 2,000 career yards rushing. What can you say about him and how he's done that, and especially going back to last year when he was like your only held it back?
Matt's a really good player, and we're going to need big games from him. And when we got a big lead today, obviously we wanted to get Christian Beal some carries, because as the year goes on, we're going to need Christian, and we want to keep Matt healthy and Cade healthy as we get to this ACC stretch. But Matt's a great player, and if he got 2,000 yards today, that's great for him. He's had a really good career here, and hopefully we have him for 7, 8, 9 more games here.
Coach, I read a comment by Cam Glenn this week that he thought that the defense needed more sense of urgency, more accountability, and maybe a little more passion. Do you agree with that? And if you do, did you see that today?
I agree with it, and I saw it. I saw it for 30 minutes. I didn't see it for 60.
Coach, I saw Scotty line up and play like the opening kickoff. I don't remember seeing him the rest of the game.
He's almost there. He's just still a little bit stiff. And I think sometimes you have a player that's maybe like 80%, and the thought is if you can get through the game and win it without him, great. And he could have gone, could have played the way the game went. There was no sense in having him get banged up. All right. Okay, thanks. Look forward to seeing you next week. Go Deeks.